let's take it back all the way to the beginning. Let's get to know, Auntie Gift. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your beginnings. And
so my name definitely is Gift Otieno. Originally, I'm from Kenya. I'm from I was born in a place called Bondo in Siaya County. I am married in Siaya County. I live here in Australia now with my kids and husband. Done that since 1999. Actually, 2000. My husband came in 1999, but I came in 2000. I've got 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, and I've got 3 grandkids.
Okay, so let's start from the eldest to the youngest. What's the order?
So I've got the daughter who has the 2 sons that are my grandkids, Kate. I've got Patrick. Mm-hmm. Patrick works for the ADF. He's somewhere in the world now. I don't know exactly where, but he's stationed in Queensland, in Townsville. And then I have Ian, who's the dad to the girl. Uh-huh. And then I have Crystal, my youngest. Yeah.
Okay. And so, 4 children, that's amazing. Take us back to the very, very beginning. How was childhood like for you growing up?
Well, I am what I would call a product of both worlds. My mom was a teacher. She taught in the village, and my dad lived in the city. So we would go to school, and as you know, we all went to boarding school. So primary school, we went to primary school mostly in the village. Some of us went to boarding school, but then it was compulsory for us to go to the city over school holidays. And the reason was that it was easier for us to concentrate on our studies. I don't know how well that worked, but it didn't matter if Dad was coming home for the holidays, we had to go to the city. So that kind of gave me good perspective of both the village life and the city life. I do call myself a village girl, though. I'm village through and through. Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
Okay, you're proud of that. Okay, how many brothers and sisters?
I've got 2 brothers. I've got 3 sisters. I am the first girl. I've got 2 brothers after me, and then I've got a sister. I've got one of my sisters lived in the UK, and my other 2 sisters live back home in Kenya.
So you're the oldest?
I am the oldest.
Oldest, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And so what was that responsibility like, being the oldest?
Oh, still huge. Still huge. Sometimes I wonder, when my family say, oh, we need to do this, but you need to lead it. I'm like, I'm here, you there. Am I leading that? But that is responsibility that comes with being a firstborn. And you also develop some kind of personality when you're a firstborn because you're a leader. In my generation, if you are firstborn, by the time you're 9 years old, you're a mother. You're a mother. You're looking after the home, you're cleaning, you're cooking, you making menus, making sure people go to school, clothes are washed. The time you're 9 years old, and you do that throughout your life, as long as you're still home, you do that.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought of starting a podcast? I know it's a scary thought at times. Where do I start? What equipment do I use? How do I produce a whole show? Maybe you're someone out there who loves yourself and loves the message in who you are and how you're spreading your unique gifts out to the world. But you just need a platform to do it on. You need a platform for people to be able to go and hear your unique and valuable story and how you're impacting people's lives. Well, here at the Rubasha Family Podcast, we're really proud to be able to use podcasting to change the world. We have been doing this and it has changed our life. For us to be able to market and be able to tell our stories of people around us and the way it's impacting and adding value to people's lives. You are that person. You have that gift. You have that talent. And that gift and talent needs to be seen. It needs to be heard. Your downfalls, your amazing moments, your business needs to reach more people. That is what we do here at the Rubasha Family Podcast. So for a select few, we can have you as a guest on our show. For me as the host to ask you questions about what you do. This is a skill. creating this content, being able to film, produce it. It is a valuable skill that we have learned, and we want to utilize that to help as many people as possible. So you'd have me as your host, ask you questions, get to know you and your business and how to build up your personal brand. We're then able to market and repurpose content from the podcast on all platforms, including your network. So if you really want to be in touch, if you want to be a guest on our show and be able to use marketing material from this valuable podcast, from your valuable story out to more people, we have that available. If you need help and assistance in publishing and producing your own podcast and just don't know how to go about it, how to do it, and you need that assistance, we provide that service as well. Being able to fully produce, edit, and publish your podcast on all networks. And maybe you just need a consultation call, some help in order to, how can you go about this strategy? Strategic ways into thinking on how you can use your podcast as a funnel for your business. You could use the podcast as a funnel for your personal brand, for people to know the face, for people to know your amazing story. If just one person can be impacted from your story, that is what matters. This is something that 100, 200 years from now, your legacy will be remembered by. So the link in the bio, there is a form for you to fill out. Go out there, fill out the form, and we'll get you started on how we can help your personal brand today.
If you have other sisters behind you, they just join you in the queue as you do that. That is the African way of bringing up. That is the way we are trained to be women.
Mm-hmm. Wow, okay, so what do you remember, like, so you said your mom was like, so she was looking after the house?
She was a teacher.
Village? Oh, she a teacher, okay.
Yep.
So she was a teacher with you guys. Your dad was in the city, like coming back and forth. What do you remember about like their marriage as a child, you know, just growing up and life?
I think my parents' marriage, I've always said that my parents' marriage gave me a very superficial view of marriage. I thought that their marriage was perfect. I thought, I don't know if my mom ever bought anything. I didn't see her take out her money from her wallet to buy. Maybe she did. I just didn't see it. Every morning when my dad was, if you were in the city, in my generation, having a refrigerator was not everybody had a fridge. Very rich people had fridges. Normal people didn't have fridges. We just bought things from the kiosk across the road. And so my mom, every morning when my dad was going to work, he'd leave money for breakfast, he'd leave money for lunch, he'd leave money for dinner. And I knew my mom worked. I just thought that's the way it's done, that the man always would buy the food. And if I wanted school books, I'd just go to my dad. If I wanted, when I came from school with a school report for school, I just gave that to my dad. I just didn't know my mom was meant to have it. Things changed though, because when I was in equivalent to year 10, my dad went for further studies in the US. And then our lives changed, because then we had only mom. That kind of changed a lot about our lifestyle, changed a lot about responsibility and how I looked at it. But I do think that my mom and my dad's marriage was perfect. In my opinion, it was.
Well, did you see like much affection with them?
Well, now define affection.
Like, you know how you see, sometimes you might see your mom and dad kiss or holding hands.
We don't culturally do that.
In front of your children?
No. Culturally, we don't do that in front of our children. I mean, the African marriage are series, and partly I am that generation as well, where affection between husband and wife is assumed. It's not something that is out there in the open. If you went to an African village even today, so for example, if there's a wedding or there's any kind of celebration, you could tell which couple is from the city and which couple is from the village. The village couple have no kind of relationship that you can see until you see them getting to the same house. They say, oh, they're related. I didn't know that. But they had their own way of doing that. My dad was different in a way that my mom he could hug my mom. My mom wasn't that way. That's not what she liked. She would always tell them, oh, don't do that. They're in front of kids. And that is the way Africans do it. We don't, the married couple rarely would show affection in front of their kids. Nah. I think I'm that generation as well.
That generation. So year 10, you said your dad goes off.
And he didn't come back until I finished Form 6.
Form 6. So how old is that?
I would have been 17 when he came back. He went when I was 14. No, he was there for 5 years. So he went, I would have been 18 when he came back.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.